Hello everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. In this episode, we're going to go back and look at Leapwing Audio's DYNONE. You might remember a couple of months ago we did a live stream using all of Leapwing's plugins. We're going to focus on the DYNONE here, and I'm going to take a mix and I'm going to apply it in different areas of the mix. The other great thing about it is we're going to give away 3 copies of this, so please stick around and make sure you enter to win one of the 3 copies. Leapwing have a widening plugin which we've been using quite a lot, and you may have seen on other mixes. The DYNONE is a multi-band compressor which always works in parallel. Let's open it up. I have a song here by a band called In the City, and the song's called the Owl Song. Those of you in the Academy will know this song quite well because we mixed it.
I go off in the dark unknown, where only fools and lovers go to hide. Promise you won't let me go alone.
So it's an indie pop song, live drums, piano, bass, and some electric guitar. It's really straightforward. Stereo acoustics here. And so let's put this on various elements. I think what I'll start with is the stereo drums. There's some ambience from the drum mix here, from a little bit of the kick and a little bit of the snare. So I'm going to take the DYNONE and I'm going to put it on the overall drum bus. And we'll do a bit of a before and after and see what it does. So we'll go to Leapwing here. We'll go to DYNONE. If I turn on the controls here, you can see it's got a parallel compression control here, so we'll leave the parallel on. And you've got low frequency here, low mid, mid frequency, high mid frequency, and high frequency. The way that it is split up in bands is from 0 to 160, 160 to 800, 800 to 4K, and 4K to 11K. Let's sort of go through and have a listen to how it just defaults. This is default sound. It's a pretty tubby kick. It's not metal, it's not, but it's quite tubby. And once I put the Leapwing on, it already sort of tightens up the kick a little bit. The other thing I like is the ambience is sort of like brought up a little bit more. Some of the high mids of that that you've got on not just the snare, but the kick is more aggressive now. So that's where parallel compression really starts to get exciting. As you can see, this is just one drum bus. I don't have a parallel drum bus going. So this is sort of giving me the feeling of running a parallel bus alongside. Now, if I want to shape areas, let's go to the low end here. So this is interesting. You'll see the threshold is like readdressing the balance. We go back to a more aggressive ratio. It's interesting how this range here can really dramatically change kind of the crest values of it. So basically, I'm shaping the transient in a very unique way. On my settings over here, I've got ultra quality or low latency. We went for ultra quality. Band or auto gain on, pretty much left on default. My global settings, I got single band, 50% all, interesting. Detection RMS or peak, channel link mono to stereo, it's set on 0 at the moment. So I'm hitting shift click on this. Soloing that, that's really nice. This is like a link control here. So if I unlink it, it means I can also turn up the low end independently. Obviously the bottom of the snare's in there as well. As you can see, it's mainly catching and compressing the kick because the kick's loud in there. So let's go to low mids. So we hit shift click on this second low mid frequency here. I like that being more aggressive. Already better. So what we've done there is we've taken out a lot, we've been more aggressively compressed the low mids there. Let's just make sure that there isn't a huge volume difference you're hearing. I like it. So it's ducking those low mids, allowing the low end to shine more. And if I turn off this link control, I can even boost that low end a little bit more. But we'll leave it all linked together at the moment. Okay, I'm going to go to the high mids here and have a listen. Pure mid-range. There's a lot of like ambience and aggression in there. I mean, that's where the air is living. Let's get a little bit more. Unlink it. Turn it up a little bit. Oh yeah, it's gone from sounding like a sock is over the whole kit. So huge improvement. I'm going to back everything down a little bit. What I tend to do is when I first start using something like this and I find it really remarkable, I tend to be a little bit too aggressive. So let's go back to the lows. So I'm reintroducing some of the low mids back in. Because some of that low mid was also removing some of the low end out of the snare. So I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. There you go. That's a very, very good thing to sort of think about when you're using something as dramatic as this that can do so much greatness in your mix. You can tend to fall in love with really drastic movements. And that's still like night and day better. I mean, here it is in the mix. Here it is without it. Really remarkable. Okay, let's try on something else dense. Probably, to be honest, I want to hear what it sounds like on the acoustics. When I did this mix before on a live stream, I remember using multiple plugins to do what I wanted to do. Let's see if we can solve all of that with just the one plugin. Let's hear it in bypass so we see what we're dealing with. It's not a bad acoustic sound. It's a little dull. Doesn't quite have some of the, you know, the pizzazz that we want across the top. Again, it's just hit just straightforward default settings. Have a listen to what it does. I mean, the way they've set the EQ points is very smart because they're covering an area in the low mids, which can be quite ugly from the 150 or 160 here to 600. That covers like 300-400 area in drums, which is pretty horrible, especially on toms. That is really ugly in drums. But 600 itself, 600 is ugly in vocals. So they've created something which sort of solves a lot of problems. Now, it's also initially and almost immediately compressing that low end quite aggressively. So let's do the shift click on it. I'm really going to drastically compress that 116 below. We don't really need it. So it's just there for a little bit of weight. Let's go to the low mids, shift click on that. Mids. Now I'm letting that sort of come through a little bit more to get that shanga down, get a little bit more of, you know, the fingers, the pick hitting the strings. Not messing with the attack or release or anything at all, and it already is, it's shaped it really nicely. Still sounds natural though, which is a good sign. Okay. Might compress this a little bit, then take it out of link here and turn it up a bit. Now take it out of this. Hear what we did before. So when I was using two plugins, this is what I had. Now using just a Dyne one with 1 minute's worth of manipulation. Turn it off, go back to my other ones. Night and day. Really, really great plugin. I think we're moving into that world now where there are a couple of like really great plugins like this that can just, if you use them judiciously and you know how to use them, you're really going to be able to mix quite quickly. Especially for acoustic guitars and drums, this is really working well. I can hear that. So this is it on the acoustic. Superb. I like that bass sound. I'm not going to touch that for the time being. Let's have a listen to the piano. I know I did some fun stuff with this. Maybe we can try and get a tiny bit more pizzazz out of it. I'll leave the plugins I've already got on there. And I'm going to come in here and grab DYNONE and have a listen. It's already clearing up the low mids and the low end just on the default setting. So I'm actually compressing those high mids a bit more, and then I'm going to turn them up. I came out of link here. So pretty remarkable. My feeling is that this is working really, really well in the way that I'm using it, which means I've mixed the song to a level that I'm pretty happy with. We did this on a live stream, this song, over a couple of hours. And now I'm adding it and I'm just sort of like taking it over the finish line. I think you can mix with this from the beginning, but I like the idea of sending relatively compressed and EQ files to either a stereo or mono auxiliary. You know, probably a stereo auxiliary, and then applying DYNONE on there. Everything that's doing here is pretty remarkable. And you're watching this pretty much in real time. I'm sure there'll be an edit of an or an R. But this is how quick and intuitive and easy this is. I loved it when we got to use it, and I'm really, really glad that we've now got to use it like specifically, not incorporated with other plugins. So great work. Thank you, Leapwing. And of course, please enter to win. If you've already used this plugin, let us know how you get on. What is your experiences with multiband? So have a marvelous time recording mixing. Don't forget to enter to win. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Oh, and if you're an Academy member, of course, you can download all of these multi-tracks and try these out yourself. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, go to producelikeapro.com and sign up for the email list, and you can get a whole bunch of free goodies. And if you join the Academy, you can mix this and about 40 or 50 other songs.